Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, Budgeting for Future. Today I'm going to share with you all exactly how my husband and I got into being in real estate and how we've become property managers, and also how much it costs us to do this as well as how much it makes us. So if you are interested in that, definitely go ahead and stay tuned. Now today I plan on talking about our whole journey going from making no money, really investing in anything, to being able to make almost half of one of our incomes every single year just by making a financially savvy move really early on in our marriage. Now, with the information I am giving you here today, I want you to keep in mind, I understand that everything about our story is just really a matter of privilege. I'm gonna start by talking about how the initial investment was a gift to us, and I understand that this is not a how-to of any sort because it was such an interesting situation, but I did want to show you guys exactly what our experience has been and how we've done what we have and how it was a really, really great move for our family, even though we didn't really know it at the time. So in 2017, my husband and I got engaged, and we're just starting the wedding planning process. And my father-in-law came to us and said, "Hey, I'm so happy you guys are getting married. How about I give you guys some money to help with that?" And of course, that is a huge gift to have someone offer to help pay for your wedding. And we said thank you, and we would love to receive the gift, but we don't want it to be confusing as to like how much you really want to give us. And so we started out by just saying, okay, well, how much do you expect to contribute to our wedding? He gave a number, and we were able to sit on that and think. At the time, we also knew that our lease was coming up on the house that we were renting at the time, because we had just moved to a new area for our jobs, and we knew that we would have about 6 months to decide, okay, are we moving? Are we going to buy a place? What are our plans? And we had already been thinking about buying something, just because in our area of the country, it's really affordable to buy houses here, and we felt like it was going to be an area we planned on staying in for a while. So with those two things kind of in our minds, we started working with a realtor who we have used now twice, and we've really enjoyed working with her. But we started looking at places and what we could afford and how much we could get a loan on a house for. And we went back to my father-in-law and said, hey, instead of you helping us pay for a wedding and us coming to you at the last minute and maybe being like, oh, I know you gave us this much, but now we need flowers. Can we have more money for flowers? We decided to say, hey, how about instead of helping with a wedding, help us with the down payment for our first home? And he said, yep, I would love to, as long as I get to help a little bit with making the decision as to what to buy. And so with that knowledge in hand, we started looking at houses. Now, we wanted to make sure we were finding something affordable, and we kind of had it in our mind that we would probably choose a single family home, but we were interested in looking at multifamilies as well, because we do live in a college town, and we knew that it could be cool if we could do some house hacking and live in one part of the house and then rent out the other. And on our first day of working with our realtor and going to a few houses, we saw a mixture of houses. We saw a single family in a not so good area. We saw a single family home in a nicer area, and we saw a 4-unit rental property that was super run down. And the last house we looked at that day, we saw a duplex with 1 unit upstairs, 1 unit downstairs, and my husband just fell in love with the property, and we decided to make an offer that day. Now, that property was 3,000 square feet. The top half was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and the bottom half was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Both of the units were in really good condition, and we already had decided if we were to get the property, we would be happy to live really in either one of the units, because it seemed like it was in a good area. It seemed like the house had been maintained well enough, and both of the units were definitely set up in a way as they were ready to be move-in ready. So we made our offer, and pretty much immediately we were told that the house had been on the market for only 4 days, and they had already gotten 3 other offers, and they asked for us to give our best and highest. Originally, the house was listed at $150,000, and we decided we were comfortable with paying $155,000, and that we would also cover the cost of closing. And so we put in the offer, we crossed our fingers. We also wrote a really nice letter telling the person who was selling the house that we did plan on living in it, and that we could see it as a really great home for our family and our future, and they accepted it, which was so incredibly exciting. So the initial investment with the 20% down payment, which was required to be buying a duplex, and the closing cost, we spent right around $39,000 just to get the property. We did have an inspection done, and we had some fixes done before we purchased the property, and we also got a 1-year warranty on it, which was probably one of the best decisions we've ever made, because our first year of owning the property, we did over $10,000 in renovations. The day that we signed for the property and it officially became ours is the same day that we started getting renters for one of our units. We did talk to our real estate agent, and she was able to give us a pretty good idea of what rental properties went for renting in our area before we closed on the house. So we knew that the upstairs would probably go for about $1,200, and the downstairs would go for $1,000. And since there were only 2 of us at the time, we decided we would live in the cheaper unit so that we could make more money overall. We were able to get renters for that unit within 10 days of closing on the house, and they were officially moved in by 16 days after closing. We've had the same renters the whole time, and we are very happy with them, and it has been a great experience working with them. After that second unit was filled, we knew that we would be needing to move into the other half of the rental property when our lease was up, and the kitchen in that unit was atrocious. It had these crazy green blue doors on all of the cabinets. It was very 50s space theme is kind of how it felt. I'll hopefully insert some pictures of the kitchen because I know we definitely have some. And while it was fine, we happened to be gifted some cabinets from my aunt-in-law who had just renovated her kitchen in her house. So her cabinets were about 10 to 15 years old, but they were in pretty good condition. She had taken them off the wall using a general contractor, and she said, if you want them, you can take them, and I don't care what happens with them. So we took up that offer, and we decided to renovate the kitchen, and we put in all of her old cabinets into our current property. We also redid the floors, repainted the walls, and we did have to put up some new drywall as well because the way that they had put the old cabinets onto this kitchen wall was just like literally tacking them up onto there. They had no backing, so there was weird wallpaper and it was super bizarre. We ended up spending about $7,000 just renovating that kitchen. We then moved into the rental property, and because we did have renters in the other unit, we were able to live in that unit completely for free for the time that we lived in that house. The one hiccup that we did have was that we did have to get the unit city certified. So in our area, you have to have an inspection every 2 to 3 years of your property, and if it's having any maintenance issues that the city deems appropriate to have changed, you've got to do that work or they won't let you rent out to renters anymore. And we kind of assumed that that would be an easy process, but it was not at all. We had this huge vine on the side of our house that we were told had to be taken off of it. It was a wood house, the outside of it, so we had to do some replacing of some rotting parts, and we also had to completely repaint that one side of the house. It was an incredibly expensive project, averaging right around $5,000 to $6,000 all in total, just to keep the renters that we had gotten in the first 16 days of owning the property. Now today, we no longer live in the property and it is fully rented out, both units, and we're able to make over $24,000 gross each year. In terms of our return on initial investment, last year we averaged right between 20 and 21%. And again, it was a fantastic decision that we made to buy this house, and with that extra money that we had, not having to pay for our house, we were able to cash flow our wedding. And now today we're hoping to buy more and more properties with the money that we make from this current one. If you did make it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sticking out to the end. And if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a like. That way I know to make more content about our rental business and our rental property income. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.